ARMS is a very different kind of fighting game. There's no combos to memorize, no special moves to perfect, and the characters are largely identical in ability. In fact, all of the player options have been stripped down to 6 simple actions. But this method retains the core attributes of a brawler: timing and strategy. With a slew of offbeat practice modes and challenges, ARMS is as goofy or as serious as you want it to be. But does this limited direction come at the cost of long-form depth? Despite being packed with character, ARMS doesn't feature much in the way of a story. Outside of brief snippets of text during the single-player mode, the cast personalities are best represented by their cartoonish faces and exaggerated posture, which is all for the better, as the thinly written backgrounds remain fairly inconsequential. Instead, ARMS lets its fists do the talking. Placing the camera behind the fighter, the combat is a mix of third-person platforming and long-distance punching. Each of the combatants are equipped with extendable arms, able to stretch several feet towards their enemy, with players adjusting their direction before impact. Each fist can be thrown one at a time for snappy combos, or together for dominant grabs. Once enough offensive attacks are delivered, an unlockable rush move unleashes a brief but powerful pummeling. But a strong defense is even more vital, with blocking lowering damage received, while jumping and dodging avoid strikes altogether. Properly timed punches can also be used to knock away incoming fists, or temporarily disable their use. This minimalist moveset is the core of ARM's surprisingly intense combat. With a mostly uniform selection available, the key to success is in reading your opponent's movements, memorizing their patterns, and correctly interrupting a potential barrage. Likewise, this forces players to psych out their adversaries with sporadic movement and varied attacks. At the ground level, ARMS is an inviting yet competitive fighter, with observation being every bit as important as strategy. But true success comes from learning the nuances of each fighter, arm, and elemental effect. Though the general options carry across all 10 characters, each come with a couple of subtle differences. For instance, Master Mummy is able to regenerate small portions of health while blocking and is difficult to knock over. The Nimble Ninjara can quickly vanish in a puff of smoke for temporary invincibility, and the robotic cop and dog duo Bark and Bite fight side by side, cornering their prey. All come with a pre-selected trio of available arms, though as experience is gained, more can be unlocked via the target practice minigame. More on that later. The collection of boxing gloves, blades, lasers, shields, and whips offer unique advantages in power, size, and speed, but can also be charged up for fire, ice, electric, and wind effects for extra damage. This added layer of depth challenges players to embrace the strengths of their fighter while recognizing the dangers of their competition, from their unique abilities to the individually selected appendages. While the available maneuvers are limited, these slight tweaks add a sizable amount of variety and unpredictability to each round. And yet, ARMS never fully capitalizes on its gameplay systems, due to the myriad of half-baked modes and stages. The 10-round single-player, or the 1 vs 100 mode, where players take out 100 enemies before facing off against a final boss, serve as a good tutorial, with higher difficulties offering serious challenges, though the rest of the options feel slightly misguided. Online splits into 2 varieties, the lighthearted party mode and the more restricted ranked mode. Party mode includes the standard 1 vs 1 match types, complete with random health and bomb drops. This carries over into the chaotic 3 and 4 player brawls. These require constant switches in focus, and though the outcome isn't exactly fair, it's always a good bit of fun. Which is more than I can say for the co-op tethered matches, where 2 teams of 2 are physically tied together, limiting their mobility. Or the headlock boss fight, where 3 players team up to take on a 6-armed boss. While this may work better in a local environment, being matched up with random strangers of varying skill is deeply frustrating. Then there's the odd sport inclusions, such as volleyball. If there's a strategy beyond hitting the ball 3 times in a row as soon as it drops, I haven't found it. While hoops task players with grabbing each other for free throws and slam dunks, an interesting though not very challenging distraction. Finally, there's the target challenges, where players on opposing sides race to destroy the most targets while knocking down their adversaries. Of all the non-combative matches, this one feels the most fleshed out, rewarding timing and accuracy. But the most bizarre design choice in the party mode is the win and lose streak penalties. After winning a number of matches, a fighter's health is taken down by 25%, with bonus experience earned for each victory. Losing streaks unlock a full rush gauge at the beginning of each match, offering a slight advantage. Though aiding struggling players is reasonable, punishing winners for simply winning is an unwelcome adjustment. Party mode is an enjoyable, yet uneven experience. Though the dynamic group fights do spice up the traditional format, the randomized assortment of gimmicks combined with the odd penalty system make for inconsistent sessions. Ranked mode, on the other hand, only features 1 vs 1 2-round matches. Problem solved, right? Well, not exactly. Though the fighting mechanics are sound, the stage design can awkwardly interfere with competitive face-offs. Some environments include slopes, pillars, and springboard ledges, which add some nice variety without altering the base concept. Then there's Ribbon Ring, where a gigantic collection of blocks suddenly appear out of nowhere, cluttering up the arena. or Snake Park, with its interactive hovercrafts greatly increasing movement speed. By no means are these stages game-breaking, but their unique quirks don't fit within the skill-focused nature of a ranked match. And a similar note, both the physically strenuous motion controls and traditional button input are available online. Each work perfectly well, though it's a bit odd both player bases are kept in the same pool. After each event, you'll gradually earn more coins to unlock more arms. The catch is, they're randomly earned through the target practice minigame. Stranger yet, regardless of which fighter you use for this event, the newly acquired arms could be for anyone in the roster. And given that each arm is specifically tied to a single character, it's impossible to build up your personal favorites. If that wasn't frustrating enough, accessing this minigame requires a tedious amount of grinding. For 30 coins, you'll be given 25 seconds, followed by 100 coins for 50 seconds, and 200 coins for 90 seconds. With ranked matches only netting 8 coins per victory, this is a needlessly demanding progression system. ARM's art direction feels cut right out of a children's cartoon. Vibrant primary colors drench every stage, menu, and fighter, delivering a sense of energetic optimism. The characters themselves draw from science fiction, horror, and superheroes, carrying an air of danger during competition, while their over-the-top poses exude a friendly warmth. ARM's soundtrack is a collection of jazzy techno and horn numbers accompanied by a choir of singers. It doesn't offer much in the way of variety, but keeping the tempo nearly identical across all songs, the rhythm of combat remains consistent. It's a small but smart touch. So, is it worth it? Yes. The worst attributes of ARMS comes from overcomplication, the grind-heavy progression system, the unnecessary penalties for winning streaks, and the event and gadget-heavy stages don't warrant their inclusion. But none of these missteps can take away from the accessible, though technical combat. Regardless of your experience, ARMS treats everyone as a true contender. ARMS is currently available on the Nintendo Switch for $60. If you've had a chance to play it, let me know what you thought, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan on picking it up. My name is Colin Tanner, and I'll see you in the next video.